Broncos were 55 to 36. Ended up coming up on the losing end of a game against Mesquite Horn on Friday night. I'm joined by their head coach Don Drake, and coach, it was an exciting game, a lot of scoring, but still it ended up being your team that made a few too many mistakes in the end.
No doubt, you know, it was kind of it was an exciting ball game. I think it got the fans on their feet quite a bit throughout the course of the game. I was proud of the kids and the way that they battled back, because we were down 14-3 at one point in the first quarter. We came back and took the lead. They took the lead back away from us. We took the lead again right before halftime to go up 24-21. You know, came out in the third quarter and due to some of our mistakes again, ended up down 2 scores, battled back with a chance to tie it at 38 right there at the end of the third quarter. So, you know, we had some resiliency about us. We continued to fight and to compete. We just made too many mistakes to win against that kind of football team. You know, when you turn the ball over 4 times and 2 of those turn into 14 points for the other team, it makes it really difficult for you to win football games doing that. So we've obviously got to get that issue fixed. We gave up some big plays through the air that we've got to take care of, and you know, we feel like if we can eliminate those things, that we'll obviously have a better chance to be successful. So,
well, let's take a look at the highlights from the game, and you're going to start off on your opening drive to go up 3-0 in the game. A good opening drive to get you some points on the board.
It was. I think it ended up being about an 85-yard drive that ended in a field goal for 3 points. We actually had a receiver wide open in the end zone that we weren't able to execute and get the touchdown on 3rd down when we were down there, but ended up getting 3 points through Drew Smith, as you see right there, and it was a great opening drive to take that lead.
And really took a lot of time off the clock as well, 7-minute drive just about. Horn's going to go up 14-3 in this game in the first quarter, and you're having to battle from behind in the game, but your defense did a nice job in the first half to hold Horn's running game.
They did. You know, I felt like from a defending the run, for the most part, we did pretty well. They hurt us a few times pulling the zone read out the back end. It was a great punt right here by Paxton
what a punt
Larson.
this is.
I think it was about a 70-yarder is what it was. So it's nice to have a weapon like that in your punting game. But defensively, you know, we did some good things in the run game. We found ourselves putting them in some 3rd and long situations at several points Friday night. We've got to get better at getting them off the field on 3rd down than what we did. Curtis Ladd here tucking the ball down to get a 1st down. I thought Curtis did a great job both throwing the football and running the football for us the other night. But, you know, down 14-3, the kids battled back, took the lead at halftime. It was 24-21, as I said before. You know, Adam Brown here makes a huge play on the interception that gave us great field position. He gave us an opportunity to get back on top there in the first half. So I was proud of the way the kids kept competing. It's another example of Curtis tugging the ball down and running. He made some really mature decisions there the other night in terms of the running and throwing the game for us.
You know, Ladd definitely showing his smarts there, noticing that empty hole for that score. And Dedrick Scrivens scored 4 touchdowns rushing on the game, 28 carries, 217 yards. He had himself a really nice night.
Had an outstanding night. You know, there's been a lot of people that have put the question out there of what are you going to do without Brian Driscoll, and I think that, you know, Dedrick's performance the other night behind our offensive line hopefully answered some of those questions. Obviously, you've got to be able to do it more than one game to prove yourself, but he definitely has some great ability, and he's done some great things the other night with the ball.
And he used a couple of his runs to help get you that 24-21 lead at halftime. Another player who also was a great weapon for you was Malik Bozeman. He ran the ball and caught some passes as well. Ended up having 90 total yards.
He did, and that last clip that you just saw was what set up our score right before the half to take the lead. It was a great ball by Curtis to Malik down the seam route right there. Malik did some great things. It was a great catch by Dedrick to set up that go-ahead score. So Malik did. He was a great contributor for us on Friday. We feel like we have some offensive weapons, you know, that we can utilize.
And in the second half, you know, come out and a fumble from your quarterback helps give them that touchdown that they return to help extend their lead, and they get up 35-24 about not quite midway through the 3rd quarter. But on your next play, right after giving up that score, Dedrick Scrivens with a long run.
Yes, he did. He had a great touchdown run. It was 75 yards. I believe this is the run right here. the 75-yard touchdown run that put us back into a 35-30 situation. We did miss the extra point, unfortunately, which caused us to have to go for 2 later when we were trying to tie the game. But it was a great run, gave us some momentum. As I said before, I mean, the kids kept fighting throughout the entire game. We fell short due to some mistakes that you can't make and beat good football teams.
Also at wide up besides, obviously, your back's out of the backfield catching a lot of passes. Steven Driscoll had a nice game with 3 receptions for 45 yards, a good target for Curtis Ladd to throw to.
No doubt, and Steven is a sophomore, got his first varsity start the other night. I thought did some good things, made a great catch down the sideline in the 4th quarter for us. He's going to be an exciting player for us.
And Ladd's ability to use his feet really set up that last touchdown there to get you within 2, and that's something as a quarterback that gives you that extra dimension. He's not necessarily your typical, like Destry White is, your speed running option, but he can use his power to get inside.
Oh, there's no doubt. Curtis does a great job both running and throwing for us. The speed option has been a big weapon for us in our offense. There he is running the quarterback draw. So he does some great things with his feet. You saw him scramble earlier in several of those clips, for first down. So, I'm excited about that aspect of his game.
When you went for 2, what happened on that particular play that didn't allow you to get the conversion to try to tie it up at 38?
Well, we didn't quite get the kick that we needed on the power play, and it's just one of those things. I mean, it's the game of football, and every time you line up, you've got to go execute. Of course, they're trying to defend and take that away, and so you got to go make the play. And unfortunately for us, we didn't, and we weren't able to get the ball in the end zone to tie it right there. But even with that, they went back and scored to make it 45-36. So now we're down by 9. We drove the field again, turned it over on the 24-yard line, I think, their 24-yard line, going in to try and cut that lead back to 2. Again, it was the real story of the night was the turnover issue that we dealt with. Whether that be the 2 fumbles or the 2 interceptions, we just kept putting ourselves in a position where we couldn't continue to overcome the turnover battle. If you lose that turnover ratio 3-1 like we did, we're -3 in the turnover ratio right there for Friday night. Well, any game of football at any level, you're going to have a hard time winning. So, we've got to get that fixed.
And it just kind of puts you in that hole, that deficit that's really tough to climb out of. You also had 7 penalties for 68 yards, which for the first game of the season isn't necessarily that bad. You expect teams to come out and have a lot of penalties, trying to get rid of some of the jitters. But still, 7 penalties for 68 yards, you want to clean that up.
Yeah, and really most of those happened on the defensive side of the ball, which, again, that was one of those unfortunate things that we've got to learn from as well, is that you've got them in a down and distance situation where you can get them off the field, but the penalties give them those yards that moves the change for them, and we can't give gifts away on Friday night and expect to win games, whether those gifts come in the form of defensive penalties or offensive turnovers or just big plays because of bust. I mean, you've got to eliminate those things and make people earn what they get, and we didn't do a very good job of that the other night.
When you go up against a team like Horn that is known for having some big plays, especially in their passing game, what do you tell the secondary as far as being alert to that deep pass or making sure that they stay with their assignment? What, as a coach, are the things you really work on in practice with them to help them with that decision-making process?
Well, sure. I mean, throughout the course of the week, we show the kids everything that they do, through the air. We show them how we're going to defend that, who's got what responsibilities, et cetera, and to best prepare them for the game. Now it's the game of football, and they're going to make some plays, and we're going to make some plays. That's what the game's about, right? I don't care. You can turn it on Sunday or Saturday or go watch any game on Friday night. Everybody's going to bring, at the level that we play, everybody's going to have some athletes, everybody's going to have some talent, and they're going to make some plays, and we're going to defend some plays. And so we just got to get better at again, getting them off the field on 3rd down, making sure mentally, that we're not making those mental mistakes and giving them free yards in the penalty situation, as we talked about, and then correcting the turnover issue to where, they're not getting points off turnovers, as they did Friday night. You can't spot people 14 points and expect to come away victorious. So you
really went toe-to-toe with the team ranked 12th, and obviously they're moving up since then. Horn as far as the area is concerned, and that's really going to give your team the confidence going forward, knowing that they're competing at that level as well. And you face Coppell, which is an even higher ranked team in the area this next week. Coppell, they sort of struggled a little bit with Longview. Longview is a tough team as well, and Coppell offensively a lot of returning players, but defensively they're still stacked as always. What's the biggest challenge of going up against their defense?
Well, they're a great defense. I mean, they do a great job of stopping the running game. They're solid in the secondary, so we've got to be very efficient in what we do. We've got to execute well offensively if we expect to move the football. They're not used to giving up a ton of yards, so if you're going to move the football on them, you're going to have to execute some plays in the passing game. You're going to have to make sure you get the ball downhill in the running game and get what you can get. But they're very well-coached, physical football team. Offensively, they're big in the offensive line, and they want to establish the running game themselves. So defensively, we've got to be able to go take that away. But they're a good football team. They're a great football team. They beat a good football team in Longview on Friday night. But again, our objective in these games is to try and put our kids in front of the most quality opponents that we can, to help prepare them for the speed of the game, the physicality of the game, all those things that we know we're going to see when we get to district play, And I think Friday night was a great example of that. We're going to have another great opportunity this Friday to go play a really good football team, and our kids are excited about the opportunity to go line up and compete against them.
And their quarterback, Skylar Bono, a new quarterback, he was 3 of 12 for 25 yards in the game, so a very shaky start to his season. As a coach, does that make you sense, I have to make him beat me, I'm going to load up the box?
Oh, there's no doubt. I think we're going to have to make him make some plays with his arm. He is a first-year starter for them. The kid they had there last year was able to do that. He was able to make some plays with his arm. We're going to have to stack the box, stop the run, and make them beat us with the new guy, for lack of a better term. So I think you'll see that on Friday night, us playing the run and hopefully putting ourselves in the best position to be successful defensively.
Well, it should be a great game Friday night and a home game. Get to play at home in front of the fans for the first time.
It'll be good.
Coach Drake, thanks again for joining us as always.
Thank you.
Again, McKinney Boyd, they're playing Friday night at Ron Post Stadium, 7:30 against Coppell, in a game where they're going to try and even their record on the season to 1-1, going up against a tough team. But the Boyd Broncos have already shown against Horn they can compete with the tough teams. We'll see how it goes. That will conclude another edition of Sports Talk. We want to thank Coach Smith, Coach Fetchy, and Coach Drake for being on the show today. Next week, the McKinney Lions head to the home of FC Dallas Thursday night to play Frisco Heritage. Then on Friday, the North Bulldogs have a tough road game against Prosper, while the Boyd Broncos face Coppell at Ron Post Stadium. It sounds like everyone will get their money's worth at those games, so be sure to go out and support your school. We'll be back with more football highlights, as well as interviews with the head coaches next week. From all of us here at Sports Talk, I'm Tyler Sloan. Have a fantastic week.